today's video I have a fall makeup tutorial. Now I've been getting requests from you guys to do a really nice fall look that's like a burnt, coppery, red brick, just a very warm, pretty much fall colors. Like on my face right now is all fall colors. I have that classic burnt burgundy bricky red, and then I have that coppery orange shade, and then I have that really nice warm brown. So I pretty much look like October right now. This is an October makeup tutorial. I also did this tutorial more talk through style. It's not like a chit chat get ready with me. It's just talk throughing the makeup tutorial, which I haven't done in a while. So usually I do voiceovers. I decided to switch it up for today just to kind of change things up and do something different. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. And if you are interested in checking out how I got this makeup look, then make sure to keep on watching. The first thing I'm going to do, of course, is apply a primer. For today, I decided to use the Smashbox Photo Finishing Foundation Primer. So for foundation, I'm going to use just my holy grail favorite because I haven't used it in a little while. I've been trying to branch out and use other foundations, but I just keep going back to my Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Tawny, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to take a couple pumps of that and blend that out on the face. Concealer, I am going to conceal with the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Sand. I'm going to apply this underneath the eye, a little bit down the center of my face. You guys know I don't like to do this part too heavily, like the whole concealing in the center of the face. I don't like to do it too heavily. Just a little bit is usually good enough for me. This is the Morphe E20 brush. I really like this. It's actually smaller than I prefer, but I like it, so just gonna use that to blend it all out. Moving on to setting the skin, I'm going to use two different powders. So for underneath the eye, I'm going to use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. For setting the face, I am going to use the L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible 16-hour powder, and this is in the shade 500 Sun Beige. So now I'm going to move on to brightening the under eye. I'm going to obviously take the yellow powder from the Kat Von D. So just taking a tiny bit of that. It is extremely pigmented, so you only need a little bit. I will also just take just a tiny bit and set the center just a little bit. But again, I like more of a subtle highlight in that area. Okay, so now for bronzing the skin, I'm going to take this matte bronzer. I feel like for some reason in the fall and winter time we gravitate more onto matte products. I was really tempted to use my Illuminizing Becca bronzer that I really love, but I'm like, girl, summer is coming to an end, so it's time to pull out the matte bronzer. This is a Smashbox Warm Matte. This bronzer is really pretty. It has a very like warm matte. It has a very warm undertone, and it's just a really nice bronzer. It also looks extremely natural on the skin and blends very well. Now what I'm going to do to make sure I give dimension all over the face and it doesn't look weird is just take a tiny bit, like there's leftover product on here, and just run it through the sides of my nose. Moving on to contouring, I'm going to take my Shade and Light palette again from Kat Von D and the Ita brush. You guys know the drill when it comes to this. I'm going to contour. So I'm going to take the Cool Tone shade, the first shade, and just a tiny bit of it. For blush, I've really been loving using this brush, the E3 by Morphe. I actually forgot to mention this in my August favorites, which was a huge bummer for me. I don't know how I forgot this, but I absolutely... my nose was itchy. I absolutely have been loving this. I decided to pull out a little bit of an oldie but a goodie. I used to use this all last fall and winter. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. It's the most gorgeous like mauve blush, but it has a little bit, like it gives you a little bit of a glow still so that you're not dead during the fall. Okay, I think I put a little bit too much on. You guys can't tell, but that's a little bit too much. I'm going to take my dense Morphe powder brush, no product. Just kind of blend that out. Okay, so moving on to highlight. Now for highlight, I want to use this highlighter that is so amazing. It was limited edition. It is discontinued. You can't buy it anymore. I wanted to use it just because I realized that there are people out there that might actually have this highlighter. So I want to make use of it to show them how it looks and everything. But for those of you who do not own this highlighter and want it, but can't get your hands on it obviously, I have an alternative to share with you guys. This is the Elizabeth Arden Rose Illumination highlighter. This is the most unique color out there in the world. I am literally in love, like literally. I love this. This is Peachy Rose Gold highlighter, but if you look very closely to it, it has, you can even see it right there, it has a beautiful gold sheen. So it's almost this like duochrome, like gold sheen, peachy rose gold highlighter. It is so nice. Love it, love it, love it. So because it is so unique, it's hard to dupe, but for those of you who want like an alternative for this makeup look, obviously you can't really get this one anymore, but a good alternative is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Rose Gold. It is also a beautiful, gorgeous peach. It just doesn't have that gold sheen. So this is the two compared side by side. You know, both really pretty, rose goldy, peachy. And to apply that, I'm going to take my Luxie Fan 540 brush. Do y'all see that? Like, it doesn't give you that intense boom, like wet look, but it still gives you an intense angelic look. Like, it almost looks as if like, hi, this is the natural glow, ain't no makeup on. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. I don't know if you guys can really capture it. It looks amazing in person. I don't think you guys can capture that on camera, but it is beautiful. A bit of it and flush it on the nose and down the center. So I went ahead and zoomed in a little bit closer so that we can begin on the eyes. I did already do my brows. So for the eyes, I am going to prime with my Soft Ochre Paint Pot. So for today, we're going to be working with Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I am just going to take my Makeup Geek Z palette, and I think I'm going to take the shade Vanilla Bean here, which is this one right here, and just set the entire eye so that the primer is set and the shadows that go on afterwards can just smooth and glide on perfectly. So I want to start off with a really nice transition shade as always, and I'm going to take Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek and a Morphe M504 brush. Now I don't want too much product to be up here in this crease area because we're actually going to be focusing on the outer V for today. I've actually been really trying to do a bunch of new techniques for you guys. I recently realized that I've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys, which I love getting, you know, like constructive feedback, and a lot of you want me to kind of step out of my comfort zone and try new techniques. So I realized that I do have like my signature eyeshadow style, which is shimmery shade all over the lid, intense kind of crease, smoked out lower lash line, but I realized that I haven't been trying out different techniques, you know, so I want to do that for today too. I did that recently in my fall get ready with me. I did like a really nice smoky liner, which was like a cat eye type effect, and it was so different, but I loved it. So I really enjoyed stepping outside of my comfort zone. For today, I realized that I never do outer V shadows. I never do like that outer V cat eye look. So we're going to stick to that for today. I'm going to just fluff this in the crease because you always do need like a really nice transition shade. So put that in there. But that's pretty much it for the crease. We're just going to focus on the outer V for today. I'm going to go ahead and dig into my Vegas Lights palette. They also do sell this shade separately. I'm going to use the shade Roulette. So I'm not going to use any of these other shades, just the shade Roulette right here. This is a very intense, coppery, orangey, like straight up copper shade. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this nice cream color E58, kind of flat brush for all over the lid. And I'm actually going to take this Clearly Liquid Glitter Base. This also makes a really nice base for like pressed pigments or just really nice foiled shadows. Take a little bit of it on the actual brush, and then I'm going to dip into that coppery shadow. And as you can see here, it just turned it into like a really nice creamy base. What's really nice about using this base is you really don't get very much creasing, and it just makes it last super long. Switch to a clean E36. This is just a very tapered blending brush with no product on it, and I'm just going to blend this area right here. Okay, so something that I want you guys to keep in mind that I should have thought of is I wish that I first put on the eyeshadow, did the entire look, and then went in with the glitter glue afterwards and added the shadow on top of it to intensify it, just because once this glitter base is down, it is extremely hard to blend out. So keep that in mind. I would just recommend that if you guys are going to recreate this look, use just the eyeshadow alone first, blend everything out, and then once you're completely done, you can go in with the glitter base. because it is hard to blend out, obviously, once it's completely dry, which is what's happening now, but I think it does still look okay. So I'm going to go in with a Morphe M14 brush, and it just looks like this, and I'm going to pick up the shade Bitten. So this is Bitten by Makeup Geek. It's a really pretty burgundy shade, and I'm going to take that and just apply it on the outer corner here. My brush just on this outer kind of area here, and just keep circling it and blending it. And you want it to have this very like blended kind of smoky effect. Something that helps too is a big fluffy brush like this one. This is the Sigma one. Morphe M504 is pretty much the same, and you can just take that and just go over this area, and it just really helps to blend. I'm going to go back to that same original brush with no product and just blend, blend, blend. I'm going to add a tiny bit more product on the outer V, just so that it's like prominent. Yeah, so definitely one of my huge tips if you're going to recreate this look is to do the coppery eyeshadow first without the glitter base, and then at the end you can go over it with the glitter base, because it's kind of cracking a little bit because I'm blending it so much. So keep that in mind. Once your blending is done, then go with the glitter base. My mistake, but I am going to just fix it at the end afterwards, and I'll show you guys what I'll do. One of the best things about doing talk-throughs is that you guys get to see some of the little mistakes that I make, and it just helps all of us learn together type of thing. So that's one of my favorite things about doing talk-throughs. Let me know if you guys want me to do more of these, because I usually only do voiceovers. So I do want the outer V to be pretty prominent, so I am going to switch to a medium sweeper E54 by Sigma and pack that on here. So to kind of fix the lid a little bit, I am just going to take the same shadow I did before with the same brush and just go over it. Obviously not going over the outer V, just on the inner area. So something about this look I feel like needs a little bit of a rustic brown shade. So odd enough, I don't have a shade like that from Makeup Geek, sorry, but I do have a Morphe shade. Let me grab it. This is number 24, and this is how it looks. You see how it's brown, but it's not too cool tone. It has a very nice warm tone still to it. That's what I'm going to use right now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just take a little bit of that creme brulee that we had on before and just put it a little bit down here on the lower lash line. Just a little bit. And then I'm just going to take the Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush, which just looks like this. And I'm going to take some of this brown shade. We're just going to define the lower lash line. To highlight the inner corner, I'm going to take White Lies by Makeup Geek and just apply just a subtle amount of it in here. So for the tight lining, I'm going to tight line with black on the top and then put a little bit of nude from Tarte on the bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply some winged liner. I'm going to take the NYC liquid liner and go ahead and do that. So as you guys can see, I went ahead and applied winged liner and some mascara and lashes. For lashes, I used Esquito Voila Lash. So now for the lower lashes, I'm not going to apply as much mascara as I usually do because again, I want the eyeshadow to be the main focus. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit just so that they're coated. Lolita by Kat Von D. I figured what lipstick would look good with this look, I could just go for a classic like pale nude, which you could totally do, and I feel like that would look awesome. But I was thinking, why not just completely go all out on this look and match the eyes with the lipstick? So I figured, why not go for a rustic, dusty brick color? And I feel like that's what Lolita has become. Lolita is no longer a dusty mauve shade. This is pretty much a reformulated shade. It's pretty much like more of a dusty brick color, so I feel like it would match the eyes really nicely. To finish off the look, I am just going to grab my makeup finishing spray by Scandinavia. And this is just going to set the entire face, make it last longer, and also just help make the makeup one with your skin, and it kind of eliminates cakiness.